Hey there friends, I am so excited to surprise you with a brand new Sincere Sentiments release. This one's called Best of Friends, and I'm really excited about this one, and I can't wait to share it with you. Let's take a look at each one of these 4 new products. First up, we have the Best of Friends stamp. This is a 6x8" stamp, so it's a big one, you guys. It has all the things on it. So we have the big, bold friends word. We have friends in a script outline. We have friend in small script. We have best here and forever in that classic font. Hello, the thanks a bunch, grateful for you, friend. There's you are the, so you are the best. There's so many different combinations that you can come up with this stamp. I also love that we have the big, bold, solid friends here and the outline here, so you can do a two-tone kind of stamp there. We also have all of those classic typewritten smaller sentiments here to add to it. So you could say, friend, you inspire me. Thinking of you, friend. We can do this together, friend. So with all of these friend stamp, you can just snip off the S. Super easy. I will show you how to do that in a few minutes here. In addition to all these amazing sentiment possibilities, we have lots of little florals, we have little daisies, we have little dots, hearts. This is my favorite, and I'll show you that in just a second, but it's a friendship bracelet, you guys. I'm so pumped about it. I was really excited when I came up with that one. You have a bouquet of flowers here, and this is one of my favorites too, this little for you tag. It's so tiny and so cute, and I know it will look amazing with this bouquet. So that is our 6x8 Best of Friends stamp. We also have the Best of Friends metal die, and this one cuts out the larger sentiments. So your friend's sentiment, best, hello, it will cut out this friends, it will cut out the grateful for you, you are the, and thanks a bunch. It'll cut out the bouquet, it'll cut out the small posies, the small flowers, and the tag. So, and when it cuts out the tag, it cuts out a little hole too, which is so awesome. The heart as well. And it also includes, which I love, is a little banner, and I'll show you that in a second. We're going to use that on one of our sentiments. Okay, we also have the add-on stamp, and what I love about the add-on stamp is those classic Elle Studio daisies that we all love so much. The daisies are like a staple for Elle, and now we have them in stamp form. So you have a really big daisy, you have a small daisy, you have a little posy and an even smaller posy, you have tiny little petals, you have little dots, then you have these really cool circles that, that can go in the center of the large daisy, but we're also going to use those for something else. I really love this classic font that we used for friend here. I'm really excited about that one, and it coordinates perfectly with best and forever on the main stamp. Then we have 3 smaller sentiments here. Sending so much love to you, I definitely pick you, and so glad you're mine. So awesome stamp, but we also have the die that coordinates with this stamp. So it will cut out your large and medium posy, it'll cut out the stem, and it'll cut out those circles as well. So 4 new products, really excited to show you a few of my favorite cards using those. Okay, we're going to do a little card show and tell here. Remember when I told you I was so excited about that friendship bracelet? Well, I really meant it. So the friendship bracelet comes with 2 rows together. So you can do alternating rows of 2 different colors, or you can cut them apart so that you can do 1 row of each color, and that's what I did here. So I created like a beautiful fall hued friendship bracelet, and it has these awesome, like the way it's been designed by Elle, it totally looks like a woven friendship bracelet, which I really love. So I have my friendship bracelet there. All I needed to do on this card was add a little sentiment on the side and a few sparkles. So that is just such a fun and simple and colorful card that will brighten anyone's day. On this one, I used the little posies from the add-on stamp. a simple sentiment, and some paper strips from our awesome Solids cardstock packs. This is one I taught at Crop and Create, so if you were in that class with me, you would notice that one, you would recognize it. I also had this one in my class too. This is another one using the add-on stamp only. So you can buy the add-on stamp and add on die and create some amazing cards on their own. Here is one more that I created with the add-on stamp. This is one of my favorites. I actually embossed on vellum for this one and layered it up with solid daisies behind. I did a little paper play on a diagonal here with the Solids cardstock packs, and then just added a sentiment. It's such a beautiful card, and it has so many fun techniques in this one, and you can create all this with just this add-on stamp and die. Okay, next we have this Thanks a Bunch friend card, and I love that the bunch of flowers, the bouquet of flowers, just works so well with the sentiment. This is such a simple and easy card to make, and it includes my favorite little element on the main stamp, the For You tag, which I die cut out and adhered it next to the flowers and then drew a little string on there. So super happy and little fun card. This is one of my favorites because I love all things rainbow, and I did it kind of in a fall hued rainbow. Just repeating hello all the way down the card, right? And then I used that label there. Remember, I was so excited about that label? So I used the label there to do like kind of a white on white to put reaching out to say. So just a few sequins, added something else to that card, but it's just such a fun one and easy. This one is another favorite, again repeating. I used the row of flowers here to just stamp kind of in a rainbow down the card and then put the sentiment right at the bottom. Friends make life colorful. Isn't that fun? Here's another one of my favorites, super simple. Can you tell them all about simple cards? Friend, thanks for being there. On this one, the only thing I stamped was the sentiment, and then I used the dies, the flower dies in that size, and the smaller size that has the hole punched out to layer those up to create those flowers, and then I put a sequin that coordinates perfectly on top. So such a easy and beautiful card that would definitely brighten someone's day. Here is another card that combines the main stamp and the add-on stamp together. So you have your daisies from the add-on and then the sentiment from the main stamp. So I'm going to show you how to create this one. This is another one of my favorites. Remember that I said the center of that flower is so versatile? Well, this was a card, like a confetti card that I created with the center of that flower in different colors. So I'm going to create this one with you guys too, just to show you how versatile and how awesome these 4 products are. First, I'm going to share this really happy daisy card. I really love this one, and it's an easy one to create. It's mostly stamping and die cutting, and we can all do that. Okay, I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers stamping platform here, and I'm starting off with that big, bold Friends word. Now, I started off by using Orchid from the Stamp Market, and then for some reason I thought it was too dark and that wasn't the color that I used. So I went back in with Fuchsia instead, but it actually was Orchid that I used at the beginning. So here we go again. We're going to stamp it in Fuchsia this time. So it was a good experiment to try one of the other colors. This one's a little bit lighter than Orchid, but I really do love these colors, and the colors coordinate really well with Ellie's colors, with her solid paper stack colors. So the Stamp Market definitely has some great matches there. Okay, so I've placed both of my daisies on my stamp platform here, and I'm inking up both of those at the same time. This is a great time saver. If you have multiple things in the same ink color on your card, go ahead and put those on your stamp platform at the same time. Totally doable. I'm going to do the same thing here with yellow, and I'm using Sunshine from the Stamp Market here for my yellow. I love this new yellow addition to the Stamp Market's colors. So pretty. I often will stamp my stamp 2 times just to make sure I have really good coverage on that stamped image. It's not always necessary, I think it's just a habit now. So I'm going back in with fuchsia here. You can see that it's like a pinky purple. And I love doing this kind of color scheme, these warmer hues, and a 3 different colors is usually what I go for when I'm doing a color scheme like this. And it's just really fun, and these colors have a lot of energy with them. So next I'm going to do the little dots. And these two are going to go in the center of the larger flowers. Okay, so that's everything stamped already. See how easy that was? Like I said, this card is mostly stamping and die cutting. Okay, now I'm taking out my Thermoweb tape here, and you saw that I was wiping that on my sweater there just to make sure that it wasn't too sticky, because when you take the tape off for the first time, it can be a little bit sticky, and when you get it on your nice white cardstock, it can tear it every once in a while. That does happen. So I just put it on my sweater a little bit there to get some of that tackiness to go away. My We Are Memory Keepers Revolution machine is just off camera there at the corner of my desk. So another tip I have for creating quickly, if you're die cutting a lot of things, put multiple die cuts on at the same time. So I did the large flower, the small daisy, and the circle all at the same time. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to add friends up here. And because I stamped friends and the large daisy too closely, I'm going to have to go back in with that one. Remember that you really do need about a good 1/4 of an inch, if not more. I don't like to waste paper though, so I try to push that limit. But you do need that kind of that amount of space between 2 different images that you're going to die cut to be able to die cut them at the same time. So the last round of die cutting here, so I only had to go through 3 times. That was pretty good. Okay, so now I have all my florals here. I have my large sentiment word, and that was the end of that piece of white cardstock. Just tidying up here so I can get to the next step. I have pulled a piece of peach from the Warm Solids cardstock. This is one of my favorite Elle Studio products. We have warm solids and cool solids, and I think the colors are just gorgeous. I'm also grabbing the layered card die oh, and this one needs to be done again. I didn't do that one enough. I think I might have not gone all the way to the top. That was my mistake. So I had to run that through one more time just to make sure that I had a nice clean cut, and it was totally fine there. I really do love this panel. It has those, cute little scalloped edges. It's so perfect. So what I'm going to do here before we get anything else down is stamp the rest of my sentiment here right at the top using the fuchsia ink. And these stamps just need a really delicate touch. Don't push them down. Just kiss them to the paper. Kiss them to the paper, that's what I would say. Next up, I'm using dimensional adhesive here to pop up this panel on the peach background. And you want to make sure that you get your dimensional adhesive throughout the center of your panel too, because you don't want it to sag. But that was really easy. Here I'm cutting off the S. You saw how easy that was with just some fine tipped scissors there just to go around that D, cut off the S to make friend instead of friends. And I'm using my foam adhesive strips from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3Elle to pop up that word. I really do love this font because it makes it really easy to add strips of dimensional adhesive to. So a lot of die cut words, they get really fussy when you have to pop those up. Okay, so next I am grabbing my flowers and some Zots. These are a great glue dot from Thermoweb. I love using them for this type of thing. The adhesive goes right in the middle of that flower. So I'm using the medium for the large flowers and the small for the smaller daisies. They even have minuscule, which are really tiny. So on this one I put the flower at the top, My sentiment's a bit higher on this one, but that's okay. Every time you create a card, it's a little bit different, right? I'm also using the smaller dots here for the center of the flowers and just adhering them down. I left all my flowers pretty flat because the sentiment is popped up and the panel's popped up, so we don't want it to be too big. Next up, I'm just adding a few little dots here, just something on the outside, little dots and little petals in sunshine, just to add a little bit of interest. So cute. I love those little touches that you can add to a card so easily. And last but not least, I'm going to add some bling because we always need some bling. And these sequins are really beautiful. They're just going to add the finishing touch. I always like to add my glue first to the card, just little dots of glue. Then I'm going to use my picking tool here to attach those sequins. So fun. It's interesting to see the difference between orchid on the left and fuchsia on the right, which is a lighter pink, but I'm glad that I tried that. I do prefer the orchid, but the fuchsia is nice too. So there's my finished card. How fun is that? And easy, you guys. All right, let's check out this one. This one is so fun, and I love that you can use the center of the flower for confetti too. So the thing with this one is that we are going to stamp all of our dots using acrylic blocks this time. I'm using my stamp platform just so that it has that nice backing, that nice soft backing. It'll give me a good impression. I'm using the Stamp Market inks again, and I'm switching between 3 different flower centers. So I'm using the same stamp with the same ink and just stamping around. Instead of switching, like every time I stamp, I'm just using the same color, the same one. So if you're doing something like this where it's, you're stamping the same image over and over again, this is a great time-saving method. Now, the thing on this card that you want to do is make sure that the majority of your circles are where your sentiment is going to go. So you kind of cluster them around your sentiment, and then they almost fade out as they go to the top and the bottom of the card, almost like they're coming out of the sentiment. So here I'm using the teal color. Really love the color scheme on this card, and if you love it too, check out my video notes so that you can see all of the Stamp Market ink colors that I used so that you can check those out too. I really do love these inks. They're great quality. They have beautiful colors, and I love the Stamp Market products too. So this flower center is just so versatile. Look at how fun that is already. And I've only been stamping for a couple of minutes. So easy, so doable. Even if you aren't a seasoned stamper, you can definitely do this. You don't have to have a stamp platform. You can use acrylic blocks. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is really fun. I'm going to die cut this panel and pop it up. But first, I'm going to stamp and die cut my sentiment. So we're going to use the big bold friend again. This time I'm going to stamp it in coral ink. I love coral, it's one of my favorites. I didn't ink up the S all the way because I'm going to be cutting that off anyway, so I didn't want to waste that little bit of coral ink. And then all I have to do is die cut this out. Easy peasy. I love this font. It's a very classic sans serif. It packs a big punch, just like the large Jane alphabet that we have in the Elle Studio Shop. These are the same. So just cutting off my S there. So easy to do. So it's really great that you can have friends or friend with this stamp. Okay, here's how I'm going to die cut this one. I'm using my layered card metal die, and I'm using the stitched panel, making sure that this is centered in my A2 card panel, okay? You want to make sure that that's centered or else it's gonna show up as being really off. Running that through my We Are Memory Keepers Revolution machine, making sure that I'm careful when I pull off that tape because you definitely don't want to do all that stamping. Oh, and then I realized that I didn't run it through again all the way to the top. So obviously I need to pay closer attention to that when I'm doing a video because this time it came out just fine. Okay, so I have my frame there, making sure that I don't tear my frame with my tape because you want that frame, you guys. So what I'm going to do is use my scrapbook.com glue here, which I love, to glue up the outside of that frame. When you go to turn this, making sure that it's the right way around, because that makes a difference too. And just putting that along the edge of an A2 white cardstock base. Then I'm going to use my dimensional adhesive again to pop up this panel. And I just noticed that I had a little ink smudge there, and the great thing about this stamp is that you can just cover that up. So I die cut my sentiment. I already popped up my panel with dimensional adhesive, so it's lined up with that frame exactly, and then it's popped up. It's a really cool effect. Then I added my popped up sentiment to that, so there's two dimensional layers here. Next up, I'm going to add that sub sentiment. I'm going to wipe my navy blue cardstock with a Stampin' Buddy to make sure there's no static on there. And then I'm using Versamark here to stamp. Oh, and my powder came out. Okay, this one says so excited for you. I'm going to let my heat tool warm up a little bit while I put some stuff away. This is a great thing to do while your heat tool is warming up. And then as soon as you see that white embossing powder kind of change to a whiter white, you know that it's done. Now I have a label, that banner die here, which I'm so excited about. So excited for you, it says. I'm excited about that, that banner die. And I'm adding this here so that I can cut that out of the navy cardstock. This banner is the perfect thing to add underneath the large sentiment because it really kind of gives it a place to sit so that it looks like it's not floating. And I did just realize that my sentiment was a little bit crooked, and because I have that banner die, if you have something that's crooked and you put the banner below it, you're going to really notice that it's crooked if that banner is straight. So I very gently pulled up my dimensional adhesive here at this point and replaced the friend word. And this just goes to show you, and I didn't cut this out of my video intentionally because it just goes to show you that we all make mistakes, we all put things down crookedly. It just happens. It's part of crafting, friends. Okay, using my scrapbook.com glue here again to add my sentiment just below. And it's a little, because the glue, you know, it's a liquid, it takes a while to get that put in place. And then I'm going to add some awesome clear dots. And I love these. They don't add any more color to the background. They just add a different element, a bit of shine, different texture. So this one is definitely one of my favorite cards that I've made with this collection, and I hope you guys like it as much as I do and can see just how easy it is to create. I really hope you guys love the Sincere Sentiments Best of Friends collection as much as I do. Don't forget to check out the 6x8 Best of Friends stamp and a coordinating die, as well as the add-on stamp and add-on die today in the shop. They are brand new in the shop and we're so excited to introduce them to you. Also, if you're a monthly kit subscriber, don't forget that you have a special bundling code in your email that will allow you to ship these new products with your October monthly kit. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoy creating your greeting cards using Sincere Sentiments Best of Friends.